Welcome to the party. You found the Mouse Castle Lounge, the place to be for good times and great conversations from the world of Disney. The bar is open, your table is waiting, and drinks are now being served. Come on in. And now, here's your host, the keeper of the Mouse Castle Lounge, Tim Calloway.
Welcome to the lounge. It's December 16th, 2015, and I'm Tim Calloway. This is a special edition of the Mouse Castle Lounge as we go on the red carpet in Hollywood for the world premiere of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. But first, do or do not, there is no try. Stay up to date with the Mouse Castle by visiting us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Mouse Castle. On Twitter, I am Disney Tim, and the Mouse Castle is also available on Tumblr, Pinterest, and Instagram. Share your questions and comments by emailing us at podcast@themousecastle.com or call our listener line at 702-475-5MCL. That's 702-475-5625. And of course, you can always visit the blog at themousecastle.com, where you can download the free Mouse Castle Lounge app for your mobile device. Just click the pic that says, "Get the app." We are just days away from the release, finally, of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, the 7th episode in the Star Wars saga, and the first since Disney plunked down $4 billion to buy Lucasfilm and its assorted intellectual properties. It's been 10 years since we saw a new Star Wars film in theaters, and let's be honest, 32 years since we saw a really good one. The Force Awakens comes with ridiculously high expectations from older fans who grew up with Star Wars, as well as generations of younger fans gearing up for the next wave of new Star Wars films that will be coming out every year until at least 2019. No pressure, but the future success of the franchise really hinges on how good a film director J.J. Abrams delivers this week. Certainly, $100 million in advance ticket sales and early positive reviews aren't hurting The Force Awakens one bit. We'll see if the fan base embraces it as well. I'm catching it Thursday night, and I cannot wait. I especially can't wait until you see it, so we can have dorky conversations without worrying about spoilers. Anyway, flashback to Monday night for this special edition of the Mouse Castle Lounge. We are eavesdropping on the red carpet on Hollywood Boulevard for the world premiere of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Now, in the annals of Hollywood world premieres, this ranks up there as one of the biggest, if not the biggest ever. The red carpet stretched about 4 blocks, a quarter of a mile in front of the El Capitan, Dolby, and Chinese theaters, all 3 of which screened the film for celebrities, invited guests, and lucky fans. The majority of the red carpet was covered by tents which housed an after-party following the screenings. It was an epic night for the latest installment of the epic Star Wars saga, and we're about to hear from the cast right now in the Mouse Castle Lounge. Disney CEO Bob Iger really put Monday night's festivities in a nutshell. It was all about finally being able to show The Force Awakens to an audience full of fans.
Yes, one of the most interesting parts of this experience is that we've seen the movie a number of times. I've probably seen it 10 times, but never with an audience, never with more than 3 or 4 people. So tonight's the first time to share it with an audience, and that's going to be incredibly special. I can't contain my excitement about just that.
I realize rank has its privilege, but it does kill me a little bit inside to know that Bob has seen the movie 10 times. Director J.J. Abrams has been described as both thrilled and terrified to be taking on a film with as high expectations as The Force Awakens has. Like Bob Iger, though, J.J. couldn't wait to finally share his creation with fans.
I'm most excited for everyone to see Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, Donald Gleason, Lupita Nyong'o, these amazing young actors who have, I think, delivered incredible performances, and to do it with characters that are known and loved and really beloved. It's an incredibly exciting thing, and it's exciting even for me still, and I'm so horribly close to it. So I can't wait for people to discover it for the first time. One of the fun things about this movie is a brand new story about new characters you haven't seen before. To have them exist in such an entertaining way with some of the characters that already exist in the Star Wars legacy is really a thrilling thing, because it's this weird combination of stuff that's brand new and totally, created from scratch, and then stuff that is, something we love desperately in our hearts. And to work with Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, was a thrill.
All the evening's hoopla was a new experience for Adam Driver, The Force Awakens' evil Darksider Kylo Ren, but he appeared to be making the best of it.
I've never done it before. This is my first time seeing something I've been in with this kind of this group of, well, not this group of people, but with an audience. So we'll see how it goes. But this, for me, so far, has been the most exciting. Just one, so I can talk about it, I guess, a little bit to the people that are close to me, but also just sharing something that felt so collaborative and working on it. Finally, sharing it with people is, I think, the biggest payoff.
Barely able to contain herself, though, was Daisy Ridley, who plays Rey.
It's weird because I'm both nervous for this whole thing, and then I'm like, oh my god, everyone's going to see the film, and then it's out. It's exciting, but it's scary. Yeah, definitely scary.
Why do you think we've never heard Rey's last name? Just throwing that out there. John Boyega plays Finn, a conflicted stormtrooper and another character with a single name. John talks about how important the Star Wars fan base is to the success of the film.
Yeah, I mean, through the years, there's so many Star Wars fans that are so committed to this story and the characters, and to be a part of something that continues this legacy, it's just amazing. I feel so good, and I feel so blessed.
Andy Serkis adds Star Wars to his impressive list of film franchises he's appeared in live or via motion capture. That list includes Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Planet of the Apes, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. On the red carpet, Andy talks about how J.J. Abrams asked him to be part of The Force Awakens.
It is extraordinary. I mean, I don't think anybody expected that it would re-emerge, really. Well, I suppose we kind of did, but for it to re-emerge and then to be asked to be part of it was pretty extraordinary. And it was such a great honour and such a great pleasure to meet JJ and him ask me the question. And the way he phrased it as well, it sort of emblazoned on my memory. Really, he said, Andy, is there any way that you would like to, that you could see yourself engaging in the Star Wars universe? And I just like, I can see myself engaging in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, quite easily actually. Yeah. So here we are, and it's been an amazing journey. And he's such a brilliant director, a fantastic leader, and such passion and love for the material, and just couldn't be a better guy to be helming it, really. I mean, it's really his passion and spirit, and I mean, everything that he is as an artist is up there on the screen. I mean, he's amazing.
I believe it's written somewhere that C-3PO must appear in all Star Wars films, and of course Anthony Daniels should continue to play him. Forever. Here Anthony talks about being part of the film phenomenon that is shared and enjoyed worldwide.
I travel a lot, and it doesn't matter whether it's Australia or Japan or India or Russia the other day. It's a common language that everybody shares. And, with John Williams' music particularly supporting it, everybody knows about Star Wars. And it's not just the films, it's the whole spin-off activity, the 501st, the cosplay players, people who've gone into all sorts of sciences and industry because of Star Wars. And I'm amazed to be a tiny little gold part of it. Who knew?
Of course, the other Star Wars absolute is that John Williams must do the music. But John, after nearly 40 years of doing this, it's got to be getting tiresome now, right?
It is exciting for me also, even though I've been with it for so long, from the very earliest days with George Lucas. But I think the buzz has never stopped for us. And for some reason or other, particularly this one, I think it seems to have gathered a new life and a new energy in the writing, JJ's work, which feels to me like a very kind of organic extension of what George Lucas has done initially.
Star Wars The Force Awakens has already drawn praise for the diversity of its cast, from Daisy Ridley and John Boyega playing the leads to casting Gwendolyn Christie as the villainous Captain Phasma. Here, the Game of Thrones actress talks about the film's diversity, plus the positive message all the Star Wars films send.
I think Star Wars has touched people. I think it's done something that is really unique, which is in watching the films, it really gives people the feeling of hope. And I think what's wonderful is that Lucasfilm and Disney have captured that feeling again, but they brought it right up to date with more diverse casting choices, and by creating a character like Captain Phasma that I'm so privileged to play. This is a very new experience to me because obviously I've been lucky enough to be on Game of Thrones for a long time, but this is one of my first films. So I'll be sharing this new experience with everyone else.
Gwendolyn no doubt shared her experience with Oscar Isaac, who plays X-Wing pilot Poe Dameron, and was also caught up in the world premiere excitement.
It's amazing. It's hard to process what this whole thing is. There's like a mile of press to do, but there's also a mile of friends and beautiful, wonderful people that have been involved with this movie. You know, it talks about family, spirituality, finding your place in the world, and those are things that everyone, no matter what culture you're born into, can relate to.
Lupita Nyong'o plays the pirate Maz Kanata, and here she shares the joy of seeing The Force Awakens with a crowd.
I think this is the one film that I feel is meant to be seen with a crowd, and I think tonight is going to be particularly special because I feel like the diehard fans are going to be in the room, and we get to give them this gift that is Star Wars 7.
After co-writing the screenplays for both The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, Lawrence Kasdan returned to the Star Wars universe 3 decades later to pen The Force Awakens with J.J. Abrams. In the early stages of script development, Kasdan and Abrams would meet in restaurants and take walks together all over the world just to hash out ideas until they came up with a story they could both be excited about. And after all these years, even though he had a hand in it, Kasdan still marvels at the Star Wars saga's endurance.
It's kind of amazing because the people who saw the first one were when they were 40 or 80, and my oldest grandson's 5, and he's going to be seeing it soon. That's a big range of people to be interested in one story, you know. And there's never been a movie, I think, where we have potentially that kind of audience of people who care about it, you know, that much, that big an audience.
Always a fan favorite, Peter Mayhew once again donned the fur Wookiee suit to play Chewbacca in The Force Awakens. He says there's a very simple reason people still like the fuzzball so much.
Chewie is a teddy bear, and everybody has had a teddy bear. I don't care whether it's you or the cameraman. You've all had teddy bears at some stage. So that is what appeals to the whole group of families, whether it's there or, you know, they can be 80 and they can be 8, and it still appeals to them.
Although he has been mysteriously absent in The Force Awakens trailers and movie posters, Mark Hamill was very visible Monday night. Here he talks about the Star Wars world premiere that never was and the pleasure of Luke Skywalker's worldwide notoriety.
Well, this is the first time we've been on Hollywood Boulevard for a premiere, because we didn't have a premiere when it first opened. They just opened it up. So it's a long time coming. And since it was so unexpected in my life, I've been having more fun with it. Like I have, I think, a better appreciation now than I did at the time. So I'm really enjoying it. That was probably the most unexpected thing, is that it never really went away. And it gave me a passport to use all over the world, where I'm everybody's friend. It's astonishing. So to see people that were children at the time, grown with their own children now, sometimes even grandchildren, it's a generational thing, and it's appropriate because these stories are fables and fairy tales that have always been handed down generation to generation, so it seems appropriate.
Harrison Ford is playing Han Solo and is back at the controls of the Millennium Falcon. All is right with the world. And despite breaking his leg on set while filming The Force Awakens, Harrison had a really good time making the movie.
It was a ball. It was really fun. JJ was a great party host, and it was like a Star Wars party. Well, happily, it's been the kind of family film that gets passed on from mothers and fathers to their kids, and that's been great for Star Wars. It's also been great for me. Really grateful. Thank you.
In the 1970s, Steven Spielberg made a wager with George Lucas over which of their films, Close Encounters of the Third Kind or Star Wars, would be the most successful. The twist, of course, was that Spielberg took Star Wars while Lucas took Close Encounters, and the stakes were 2.5% of the take from each film. Now, both films did quite well at the box office, but needless to say, Spielberg came out on top to the tune of about $40 million. He and George are still friends, by the way. Both Spielberg and Lucas were at the premiere, and Steven effectively summed up what the magic of his friend's creation is all about.
You know, I say when something, has this kind of global appeal, you don't question it, you don't break it down, you don't analyze why, you simply say, thank goodness we have this in our lives. Every generation has fallen in love with the Star Wars characters, and JJ's movie reignites this phenomenon that will just continue beyond this generation into future generations. It's never going to stop.
And that will do it for this special Star Wars edition of the Mouse Castle Lounge. Just in case you missed it, The Force Awakens officially opens on Friday, but like many of you, I'll be catching it Thursday night. Be sure to give the lounge a listen again on Friday, when my guest will be Disney historian Jim Korkis in part 2 of our conversation. He'll be talking about his book, The Vault of Walt, Volume 4. Stay up to date with everything going on in the Mouse Castle Lounge. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud. You can also download the free Mouse Castle Lounge app, which you can get right now by going to themousecastle.com and clicking Get the App. The Mouse Castle Lounge is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company. I just like to talk about them. I'm Tim Calloway. It's been a blast as always, so let's do this again real soon. May the Force be with you.